Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
Glad to have you spending some of your day here with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial. And Bryan and his team here to help you figure out the puzzle that is retirement planning, because you have worked, you have saved, but now you need those savings to work for you in retirement. So let's get to work creating your own customized plan. Bryan and his team ready to meet with you. It's 336-586-5861. As you're listening today, you want to give us a call, put some time on the calendar to meet with Bryan. We would love to have that conversation with you. 336-586-5861. You can also find us anytime at gaiserfinancial.com. That's if you are not running late to something else that you've got to get to, Bryan.
I think you have more time than you really do.
And that's my husband to a fault. I love him so much. But the man, he is exactly what we are about to talk about, because he'll say to me all the time, I'll ask him, I'm like, so you're working on this thing? When do you think you'll be done with it? He's like 20, 30 minutes. And I've gotten to the point now where I look at him and I go, okay, so an hour and a half. And he's like, what? No. And I'm going to drop this phrase on him. I've just recently introduced to what psychologists are now calling time optimists, AKA the person in your life who is chronically late. You all are thinking of somebody.
They coined this perfectly.
It is.
I mean, perfectly.
It's such a real...
And I'm guilty of this sometimes too, especially home projects.
We are all of us, I was just saying to you before, technology that's supposed to be the thing that's working for us, the convenient thing, has now become, I think, the problem. I think that's why so many of us live in this space. So a time optimist is basically a person who underestimates how long something's going to take them and overestimates how much time they actually have available. Bryan, we can all relate. To this phenomenon. We were actually talking earlier in the conversation, the idea about how timing it perhaps becomes even more critical and more important in the idea of the work that you do when it comes to our retirement plan. I mean, time is of the essence in so many aspects. And for so many of us, for the people that you work with, we might have the best of intentions, but we just put things off because we continue to think we've got plenty of time. So let's talk about the parts of a plan that can, in fact, suffer from what you've seen because we didn't get started soon enough. What areas of retirement planning are most at risk because we were time optimists about it? We didn't give ourselves enough time.
Oh, boy. Where do we start?
Okay.
The biggest thing, I'd say the number one issue, and if anybody's 30 or 40 and listening, please listen. And if you're 40, 50, 60, you better listen, because we're probably going to have to be creative with your retirement.
Okay.
And that, by far, you might not be saving as much as you should. Mm. And that is probably the biggest thing. They don't look to save more. Well, my company gives me 6% and I match it.
Right.
Okay. How much do you make? I make $100,000 a year. Okay, that's great. That means you're giving 6 and they're giving you 6. And you're 52? Okay. Well, then what about that other 19,000 you could be saving? Have you figured out a way to budget in a way that you could still have the lifestyle you want?
Because you speak about the other 19,000 you could be saving, because that's what's the rule on
the cap on 401ks
when you're 52 years old? Right? Is that because when you're in your 50s?
At 50 years old, it jumps up.
Okay.
Jumps up from 23. Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Jumps up from 23 and a half to about 30, another 7,500 to 31.
Okay, great.
If you're 60 to 63, you can even add another 3,750 to that. So the thing is, your question you should be asking yourself if you're working, how do I max out my 401k? How do I max out my IRA?
Okay.
Now, IRA is different. It's a $8,000 over 50 that you can save. Simple IRAs, we won't get into the weeds on all of that, but find out what your maximum is that you can save and what are you doing to make a difference. And one thing that folks can do, right? One thing folks can do is when you get a raise, give it to your 401k until you are maxing it out.
Okay.
That would help. Between the ages 40 and 50, you'd probably be maxing it out by age 46, 47. And from that point on, you're maxing out your 401k. If you have a spouse that doesn't work, that's okay. They can put up, if they're 50 or older, they can put up to $8,000 or $7,000 if they're under 50.
Okay.
And you're going, well, what do you mean she doesn't work or he doesn't work? It doesn't matter. As long as one spouse is working, the other one can contribute too.
Okay.
So it's all these little things to figure out how can I, it's like Warren Buffett says, save all you can, then spend the rest. And that's really what we're talking about here. Are you feeding it to basically a safety fund, if you will?
Okay.
I say savings, but it's really a safety fund. Do I have a year's worth of expenses? All of these questions you should be asking every month until you do have it. Every single month, look at your budget. And the biggest area where people, the reason they fall back and they slip is because they don't have a budget. And if I could say anything, have a budget. I can ask the next 10 people that come in this office, what's your budget? Can I see your budget? Well, I know what I spend, 9 out of 10 times. Have a budget no matter how confident.
I feel accused, Bryan. How dare you? Don't look at me when you're talking about people that are not paying attention to budgets, shielding my eyes.
Are you telling me you don't have a budget?
How dare you?
My budget, it'll be blown out for a little bit every now and then, like with what you're dealing with Windows, and I'm doing a complete renovation. But yeah, if you're listening right now and you don't have a budget, give us a call, 336-586-5861. I'll give you a budget worksheet when you come in, along with some very valuable lessons in planning. And not only that, put together a plan that will work for you at age 50, at age 55, at age 60, folks, at age 65, 70. Let's get you on the right track. You got the rest of your life to get it right instead of get it wrong, and it's up to you.
Got it.
Once again, 336-586-5861. I know of a couple that we had met with some time back, and they're out of High Point. Mm-hmm. And he was 52, I believe, and 49. This is a few years back. And that's what this reminds me of.
They were coming to you and he was 52 and she was 49?
Yeah.
That's great. This is what we're always talking about. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, this is a good time to be talking to Bryan and his team. Please continue. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's exactly what it's all about. Yeah. And I said he had about $320,000 in savings at 401k. Not bad at all. Mm-hmm. He made somewhere around $100,000 a year. His wife made right around 50. Mm-hmm. And I said, what? And it kind of brings me back to that story. What do you make? 100? So how much do you put into your 401k? Well, I do the match. And I said, so what is your match? 6%. So that was $12,000. I'm saying, well, by golly, you got another 19 that you need to make up. Mm-hmm. You need to take a step back and say, how do I get there? Mm-hmm. And literally within a few years, we had him back up. And he figured out where he could save more, where he was spending unnecessary funds. They were getting rid of a student loan, so they were putting a lot into that. Okay. And now their son has that, $80,000 sociology degree and is bartending. No, he's not bartending. Okay. He actually got a better job than that. Good. But sorry. But anyways, he was able, I said, well, look, let's slow that down and get more towards your 401k and then take the extra and pay off that loan. Because your loan was, was at like a reasonable 5.5%. Okay. I said, you've got to multiply. You're in a critical stage in your life. So what we did is figured out how much should go towards debt. Plus they had a little credit card debt. So we eliminated the credit card debt. And when we took that extra $2,200 they were putting towards the credit card and moved it over to savings, it covered him and her. Just that one thing. Nice. So once we get rid of your credit card debt, you'll be able to max out both savings for you and your wife. And next year, your wife gets to give an extra $1,000 to it. Okay. Roughly. Okay. And so it's those things that make the difference when it comes to retirement.
Again, talking about timeframes, because you talk about somebody who's in their early 50s. This is somebody who is very much in the thick of things. They're at the height of their career, but they do have children that maybe they've helped put through college or put through college entirely, and maybe they still have some outstanding loans. Again, pointing out you always talk about be smart with your money. And a lot of people, they think this couple, I'm sure they thought they were being smart with their money, trying to get this loan paid off or that debt paid off. Like, let's get that paid off first. That seems to be the intuitive thing to do. But you showed them, you're like, actually, if we balance it out like this, you can put more towards your IRA and end up better with a plan in place, Bryan.
Yeah, we got more. We just did the minimum payment on the student loan.
Yeah.
Dumped that money over to the credit card. Once the credit card hit zero, right? And they did some home improvements, put it on a credit card. That is 0%, but that 0% was about to go to 22 or whatever percent, 18, right. 19, 22. Okay. I don't honestly remember the exact amount. I said, let's get rid of that first. And now that you've set aside and that home improvement was so important to you, which I'm all for. Now let's take that same money, don't reallocate it to anything but you. Let's put money into you. And so now that he will max out his Social Security. Mm-hmm. She'll be able to max out her IRA because where she works doesn't have 401ks and what have you. So she's going to max out her IRA in that case. And so in a nutshell, what they were able to do is save a whole lot more. Now we're about 8 years into this, and his 320 is now closer to 720.
Really?
Because he was really focused on, I want this to be here. Now I want my 401k to be here, and so on and so forth. Another thing he has that he didn't even realize he had, and a lot of people, you ought to listen right now, is he didn't know he had in-service transfer, meaning he could move some of that money out and have greater choices. So in other words, he could take it from the 401k, transfer it into his own IRA. So we have literally split and moved about 3/4 of those funds into an IRA, and he has a lot more investment choices. We lean towards value stock so that we don't have such a cool down because of all the growth. But in addition to that, it has a good, strong dividend. That dividend keeps buying in for you. So he's not only contributing max to his 401k, he's also getting 4% dividend roughly. That's
going back into
being invested into his IRA.
And is that what they're talking about with the term compound interest? Is that what that is?
It's compound interest to a point, but it's over and above compound interest. You got your compound interest on just your regular, the money that's in the account on the different stocks and how much it grows.
Got it.
But the compound rule, it helps enhance that compound rule because it's over and above money. It's yield. It's extra money going back into your IRA.
Got it.
No matter how ugly things get, no matter how good things get. You're trying to build a portfolio, especially later in life, that when things are a little bit bumpy or things are a little bit ugly, hey, when things are ugly, you're getting good deals. So that reinvestment of the dividend plus his ongoing dollar cost averaging contributions, over time, you will win out when that time comes. And when we're slowly pulling back off of the risk level. So really putting off is bad, especially tax strategies we just talked about. And Roth, you want to consider Roth. Healthcare costs, you got to understand they're going to be much more expensive in the future. It's a great time to get in good shape, to be honest with you. That's the best thing you can do for healthcare costs.
Yeah.
And it's about, don't ever try to time the market. Folks, 336-586-5861, 336-586-5861. Give us a call. Love to sit down with you. I'll share strategies that apply to you. Everybody that comes in, it's a little different. I'm telling you now, I haven't met two people that are just alike. Similar, but not just alike.
Well, just like you are different from every person that you meet, your retirement plan needs to be unique and customized to you as well. Bryan and his team ready to help you get that plan in place. Being an optimist is good, but being a time optimist when it comes to your finances, let's avoid that. Bryan and his team here to help you put a plan in place. 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit geiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.